understanding that how we can bring the position of the physical dimension of the man into the position of interaction with the soul of the man, interaction with the essence of our creation. Many of you have a dilemma how to bring the soul in line with what we call the physicality. Where does it start and when does it end? In one of the enhancement units you've seen in the background, such a facility for you to know both souls is set. Is there for you to understand and see how you can connect the two together, that one is not a stranger to the other. And as part of the work of this process, it is essential to understand the process of conversion. If you understand this, you have handled half of the problems. What does this mean? You have a soul with a massive energy, like a sun, sitting in the center of your body, and it has to all the time adjust itself in releasing with a kindness to its own structure that brings the possibility that the soul of physicality can interact with it. If you've been to previous teachings, the biggest problem for our soul is to be kind, is to be, in a way, structure itself that, as what we've seen on the surface of the sun, we see huge plasma explosions, we see little plasma mountains. The soul of the man continuously does this. But these eruptions and these ups and downs goes that in interaction with the fields coming from the soul of physicality of the man will give the right emotion, the right feeling in a way across the brain of the man. As I said once before, it's very complicated how this sun, this soul has to behave. This is your right brain, or this is your left brain side. Looking at yourself. This has to handle the physicality, and this has to handle this physicality, because it's the way it's structured. You can imagine, on one hand, you're holding a bowl of fire in your hand, burning, and on the other hand, you're holding the hand of your lover. How does this soul inside react, and what does it produce that either one has its own emotion and own feeling? What radiation it radiates that you see and you understand. Controlling this is part of what you have to understand about the creation. Eruption on one end and joy and happiness on the other. When you can control the totality of the emotion in a balanced field, then you will create, in a way, the totality of one field with a physicality. And then you will understand the two emotions become one. And this is the time when a man will take shape to see as one. Is not two parts. It's not left and right. It's when you understand this is the time when you are ready to take into the next step, because this, at that point, will shine and will grow out, and it becomes one. The fields of, not the plasma of. And the interaction of these fields with the other souls will give you the what we call the emotions, the understanding, the interaction with the soul of the mother, the brother, the friend, somebody from other part of the universe, and many other things. What you call prophets of God, what we saw with Solomon, is interaction of these fields and nothing else, is understanding this process and nothing else. It is becoming part of and nothing else. It being part of and nothing else. In so many ways, we have to be able to understand the process of creation and nothing else. And in the new enhancement unit, we are set to do this. We are set to create that condition. We are set to bring the what we call the change needed for this purpose. And this is, in a way, what we ask the Universal Council to bring the soul of the man into this position. That the knowledge of seeing the totality will bring the change to individuals. In a way, that center is the collective soul of the Universal Council, and the outside is a collective soul of the man. Now, maybe you can see how we try to bring the things together, how we try to iron out what has been discrepancies in understanding the existence of both for the man. Where the soul of physicality and the soul of the man work as one, not in two halves, not in the right and left. And this takes the dimension of bringing what you have, the physicality of the man, into the position of totality of the man. Where the physicality does not need to die, but the totality of the soul embraces it. This is what you will see many of you when you enter the enhancement unit. Many of you, there is a system here which we have not shown, and it's not in public domain to see yet, but is advertised in a different way for the horizontal units. In those units, you'll come in touch with your own soul and the soul of physicality. Because then you have to handle it. Then you have to understand, why do I have the cancer of prostate? Why do I have the cancer of breast? And what have I caused? What have I done to myself? Do I need the elevation of my soul, that the soul of physicality receives enough to change the dimension, that there is no cancer? Then you understand the progress, the development of how, first, you have to understand the composition and the way you are built inside, that you can understand how you can change the outside. The biggest problem for man is the two-hemisphere brain. And part of our problem with bringing the human race out of physicality into the dimension of the soul is the physical structure of the brain. With the birth of Mitra, we look forward to change in the process, that the brain of the man in the due time will take a balanced shape field that is aware, and in a space will decide on this side the strength to be this shape, on this side on earth to be the man, and on this side on the planet, whatever, to be what it allows it to exist. Mankind has to learn the two-phase, two-part, the soul of the physicality interaction, what we call the creation of the emotions, has to be brought into the surrounding area of the soul of the man, that what happens the outside does not exist. This is what happens to you at the point of physical death of today, as I explained before last week. As your emotions from outside will take shape and comes forward in, and you see, and then it becomes a peaceful place. And then you see the light. It's the time when you are directly, as the physical soul of physicality, in touch, in front of what I call your creator. And the choice is very simple. To become, again, the soul of physicality within the structure, or allow the soul of the man to exist and bring the soul of physicality within it. And then, in the future, how you want to manifest yourself will come from this point. This understanding the knowledge is the process that we elevate the soul of the physicality to become mature enough in the strength to be able to accept, to become part. And then go back and read the paper written about interatomic fusion, where it's not about atoms, it's about how you can bring the soul of physicality inside the soul of an electron to become part within the structure of the new, what we call proton, to create a new dimension of life. And we think that mankind is ready for this transition. We think mankind and selected numbers gradually will phase through this, and we'll see beyond it. There are a few souls around the foundation which have reached and are about to reach that point of maturity. And they will see, and through them, they'll ignite the totality of the change. In a way, we have brought souls to teach you. And these souls are amongst you. These souls will come because they know they're part of the soul and interaction of soul of Mitra. And they become the teachers, some of them silent, some of them verbal, some of them combination of the two. The time of Gans making and nano-coating and understanding the Ganses and the plasma fields was to bring you to this point. And then when you come to that point, the interaction of the fields of your body, it dictates to you how you manifest, you change the plasma to the matter state. Conversion and transition between the matter states and energy. The what we call maturity of the man. The end of the what we call the final day, when a man matures to the totality of one conversion of the two. Not in matter state, but in a state of understanding the totality of the knowledge. The process of elevation of the soul of the physicality to see the soul of the man through the enhancement unit has already been said. It depends how much of it you need. It depends how much of the reality you have to face. If you remember, I used to tell you, go back to the some of the teachings, especially those of you who've been in the medical teachings, where always we said to the people that use our technology for their wellness, when we used to give them the system, they always used to say, how long do I have to use it? And we always said, you will know when the time comes. And after a few weeks, after a few months, when they used to come and they say, sorry, I have a problem, I forgot to use it. Or this week I forgot 2 or 3 times to use it. To them was something they did wrong. But to us was that the soul of physicality was elevated to the point that they didn't need the support of the systems anymore. This is the time I said, it's okay. Don't worry, you can bring the system back and we destroy it. Because we brought the soul of the man in a dimension of his physicality to be elevated, that the soul of the man could not see any fault with it. It was elevated enough. Those days, we used to use magnets. Nowadays, you use ganses. And today, you use the fields of your own soul. It's the same fields, but according to your intelligence, you release the knowledge. Physical magnet, dimension of the ganses. Now, the dimension of the fields on their own without ganses. Because you've seen one, you build trust in the other. When you go into the enhancement unit, we can still create those volcanic eruptions within one part or the other if we decide so, because the soul of physicality needs adjustment through the brain and the emotion, that it all becomes one. When you travel the depth of the space and you come to those who have matured in the dimension of physicality, you see a very strange structure. And when you are reporting that you've seen what we call very thin bodies and whatever, or very thin structures, when you look into their physical brain, they're very, very nicely set. It's all one. And when they release the fields equal, the shape becomes very different. And because of the gravitational field of the earth, they take this shape. And if I change the field next door to them and they walk into it, because I change the dimension of this, the soul will take a new dimension and shape, and you will see it. It might become like this. It's not a magic, it's understanding the interaction of the fields. And many of you will have that problem. Now, maybe for the first time, I can explain to you the fish tank. There, I explained before, maybe you understand when I said, when I drop a drop of water into the water tank, you shall see the fish. I don't drop a drop of water off the physicality. I drop a plasma of the soul of the fish, and the water and the shape of the tank will create the fish. Now you understand. I can drop soul of the man within the water, and you shall see the man shall be created from it. Because the strength of the soul of the fish is different than the strength of the soul of the man. That's all it is. It's not magic. It's understanding the way the magic is done, the science behind it. This, in the New Testament, is called the resurrection. I can resurrect you anywhere. The salinity of the water is the salinity of the womb of the mother. It has no choice but to create the man. The salinity of the water here is the salinity of the fish. Sweet water fish or ocean fish have different salinity. Now you understand how I've been telling you for years. I've been carrying a box of creatures with me because I did not make the creatures. I allowed their souls to be created and where they want to be. For the body of the man to exist with the atmospheric condition of this planet, it needs a specific salinity, and with it, it manifests itself black, white, Chinese, yellow skin, white skin, and the rest. And this is what the man needs to understand. And this fish tank, in so many ways, if you understood it fully, is the fish tank of the universe. The way in the different salinity of the body of the man, you get kidney and the others. In the salinity of the universe, you get different creatures according to the interaction of the conversion of the fields to observing condition or detection condition of the man or the creatures at the point. When something is invisible to you, it's very visible to me because my eye has a different salinity of water in it that liquid decides. When we see cataract, when we see people who look their visions, they lose it or change it, it's not because just that. It's the water salinity inside has changed, that the structure outside has changed to fit it. It's like, as I said, you change the temperature inside, you get the moisture on the wall, or you get the ice on the window. And it's the same. When we reverse a cataract, all we do, we change the water within, salinity of the eye. And then because it changes, it doesn't need that blanket. If you understand the knowledge, the rest is there to be done. I hope I shared some knowledge of the creation with you, and gradually you as knowledge seekers will translate this and transfer it and comprehend it and share it with the others the way they will understand. Thank you very much for